Our family history started with my mom and dad, of course. My mom was born in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. At 4 years old, she went to the old country, her and her family, and at Seda, in the village of San Bartolomeo. Of course, she went to school there and everything. She met my dad, Bell Martin. And then at the age of 24, they got married. And at the age of 26, they came to the United States, to Hanford. They got here one day. I was born the next day, in 1950. 10 and a half months later, my sister was born. They worked for my dad's cousin, which was Louie Diaz in Hanford, and I was named after him. He wasn't married. His dad said, take your cousin to the hospital. Well, he goes, why? She's going to have a baby. Well, it was me. But anyway, my dad worked for him for 3 years, and then he decided to go down south in the Gardena area to increase his wages because he had hoped to put a dairy here someday. He went there for, I believe, 3 years. I was probably from 3 to, not quite 3 years, 3 to 5. And he was there for a while. And then he came to Kingsburg, started a partnership with a friend of his, Tony Berteo. They were there for maybe a year. And then after that, they started a dairy with a three-way partnership with Mr. Joaquin Coelho, John Gonzalez, and my dad. And it was a three-way partnership, milking. Joaquin owned the dairy and the facility, but they were splitting the profits or whatever because of the partnership on the dairy. And I remember it, that went on for maybe about 2 years. And I remember going with my dad. I was 5 years old on a flatbed Dodge truck going to Dairyman's Creamery, taking the milk in cans. And then a lot of times those conveyors would break. So we'd be there till 2 o'clock in the morning, and they would take the cans and clean the empty ones, and we'd come back. 1 week my dad did it, the other week Mr. Gonzalez did it. And then after that, after a couple years of that, my dad moved to Pratt Street. I was 6 years old. We moved to 467 South Pratt in Tulare, where we rented the place for 16 years. We had a lot of tough choices over there. It was a mud hole, and we were there for 16 years, and we just kept at it and kept at it. And then towards the end of the 16 years, my dad and me, we looked at this place. I was going to go in the service. So in 1969, we bought the place that we're at for $500 an acre. And I had to go to the service. And then in 1971, we started building our dairy. And just before we built it, my dad took my sister. They went to the old country to make a visit after 21 years. When my folks left, my mom never got to see her mom again, and my dad never got to see his dad. So, like I said, 1971, we started building this place. We moved here in 1972, December the 4th. I was 21 years old. I believe my brother was 9. And so we kept at it and kept at it, and shipped to Dairyman's all this time. There was some people there to help my dad get into the creamery when he started. Alfred Sousa was one of them. And Mr. De Medeiros, because of the language barrier, he spoke Portuguese. He helped my dad a lot. He was very encouraging. Always said, my dad would come up to him in his office and say, hey George, Ishnatabung means this wasn't good. And he said, Bell, don't worry, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And my dad would like to know, where's this tunnel at? But anyway, we kept at it and made improvements with the help of all us boys and my dad, and things got better, got bad, we kept at it and kept at it, and we bought some adjoining property where we have 250 acres here and 140 acres down the road here. So we remodeled the free stalls. We did new free stalls and everything. So that's where we're at, and just been a struggle, but we've hung in there. We've had good times, bad times, and we had some tragic times too. So
yeah, my dad always enjoyed socializing, so he got involved in the celebrations, and he enjoyed singing. They called it Contriga, It's like an American rap where they go back and forth one with the other, cutting each other low or talking history. So he really enjoyed doing that. Every time we had a birthday party, his friends would come over with guitars and they'd go back and forth, and we'd video all that and take pictures, of course. But he was social. He enjoyed being involved in the celebrations. He was president of Our Lady of Fatima, first of all, in 1976, 1977. Then he was president of Pismo Celebration in '81, St. Anthony of Pismo, and then he was also president of the TDS, Holy Ghost Celebration in Tulare. Enjoyed doing that. He got involved in the Knights of Columbus, where he did his first, second, and third, and fourth degree. He went all the way to his fourth degree. And when you get to the fourth degree, you're able to wear the fourth degree clothes, which is the tuxedo and the hat and the cape, the color guard clothes, I think. And they do funerals and stuff. But anyway, he was interested in getting the clothes, but my mom just discouraged him for that. She said she said, "Hey, Bell, that clothes is for tall men. It's not for you." So he never did get the clothes, but he was a fourth degree member. He was involved in a lot of Portuguese lodges, UPC, which they did a big annual crab dinner every year. I gave a lot of money and scholarships. Luso American, Sister City Foundation. He would be a home, for people that would come from the Azores. He would and they would travel along with him and show them around. He did that for a while. And Cabrillo Club. He was a member of Cabrillo Club also.
As like my brother said, my dad was involved, and I started at a young age too, being on the celebration committees, and it just kind of snowballed from there. I always worked along Mr. Nunes. He was a past Farmer of the Year. We went on the celebration routes asking for donations. He would tell me a story about everybody because he knew everybody. And in 1994, I was president of TDS. The year 2000, I was president of Fatima. And then I belonged to the Cabrillo Club. I was their local president. And now I'm their state president, and I belong to the Moose and Pismo, the only place you can have a drink and enjoy yourself without them calling you to pull a calf or as a cow down. And, and I've helped the sheriff's campaign on cattle drives, and I belong to the Elks also. I was also a member of the Eagles. And also our church, we always help with the church with donations, whatever there is. That's very meaningful to me, helping out with the church, with Father Rick, and even St. Rita's also we help out. There's been nobody that we have said no to. All these celebrations that come around, we donate to all of them. The local ones, we donate a cow. The other ones, we'll make out a check. So we've never turned nobody down.
Okay, I first started getting involved in things when my kids started saying, "I wish to school." Because there's fundraisers for everything. So first of all, we did the golf tournament, getting sponsors for that, setting up for the horseshoe tournament. We helped out with that. And then we been co-chairing the Our Lady of Fatima auction for the last 10 years. And then I became Our Lady of Fatima president in 2012. My dad was always pushing for me to do that, and when he passed, that was one of the regrets I had, that I hadn't done that before he had passed. You think there's always time and things will always stay the same forever, but unfortunately that's not the case. So I did it after he passed, and I know he was there in spirit. Currently vice president of St. Anthony Celebration in Pismo, celebration that he was very fond of as well, very proud of and worked very hard with.
Well, in our own family, it was my dad and my mom. My dad was 85 years old when he passed away. My mom's still hanging in there with us. She's 91. I'm the oldest. I'm 66. My sister's 65. Linda's 57. And Gabe's the baby. He's 52. He's fortunate. Lost my brother in 2011. He was 55 years old at the time. He had been 60. My wife, Mary, is also from a dairy family, the Cordonese family. Her and my sister-in-law raised a lot of calves in here, and she never charges. These calf ranches sure charge us a lot of money. Like I said, her family was a Cordonese dairy. They had a dairy too. And I have two kids. My daughter Jean is 40, and my son is 35. My daughter lives in Boston, and my son lives in Long Beach, where he works for Wells Fargo Bank. He's not married. My daughter is married, but I have no grandkids at this time.
Okay, I got married in October of '87 to a local gal, which her family is also a farming family in Tulare, the Soros family, Lee and Teresa Soros. My wife's name is Julianne, and we have two sons. My oldest is 20, and my youngest is 16. Both juniors, a junior in college at Fresno State studying engineering, and a junior at Mission Oak High School, where he's active in FFA, and but his true heart lies in sports. He loves playing sports, and that's what he enjoys to do. Growing up, my kids were always altar servers, and my wife's now a lector, and we help with the Sunday collection, ushering as well. So we like to do what we can with our church, because that's where it all starts.
My brother Armin, we lost him in 2011. He was very instrumental in helping us here at the dairy, just like the rest of us. Very instrumental in helping purchase some ground next door. Worked hard, took care of the farming and the feeding. His wife also helped here quite a bit, and he has three kids. Daniel, who works for Western Milling, I believe he's 37, 38, and my two nieces, 35 and probably 30. Amanda and Lisa. He had three kids. So it was tough to see him lose him in such a short time after my dad, but due to the accident that was here, his wounds were just a little too deep to heal. But he was very instrumental. He's part of this, and we're sharing this award in memory of him, and also my dad.
The day that my sister got the call that we had been selected as Dairy Farmers of the Year was the same day that my mom and dad had immigrated from the Azores, February 4th, 1950. So 66 years later, they got the call that Tulare Martin and Sons was the dairy family, or the Farmers of the Year. So that was kind of ironic that that was on the anniversary date of when they came to this country.
Also, I'll never forget that day that the golf course where supposedly my sister was getting an award, and the Kiwanis group comes in there and announced that me and my brother and our family was Farmers of the Year. I got very emotional. Just thought about the humble beginnings and thought about my dad. I'll never forget that date. And I think of all the farmers, the legends that way before us, how they kind of, paved the road for everybody. And I'm very honored and humbled, and I'll never forget that day. So I want to thank everybody that was involved in that, the Kiwanis, family, whoever was involved. I want to thank them for that. So thank you.